All right, everybody. Hello and welcome. Today is actually Friday, January 15th, 2021, and this is your PTE NewsBreak. I'm kind of laughing because some of you absolutely hate my little intro music, but I love it. Y'all don't love my little cavalry march. It doesn't inspire you and make you want to just take on the day, the challenge. I love my little music. So I hate that you hate it, but I love it. So I might change it one day. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe we'll get some money one day behind this production value and we'll scale it up a bit. But until then, we are marching this cavalry and we are taking it on. Okay. Thank you to my January 2021 sponsor. I appreciate you so much. And my special message to you this evening is this is the year to go for it. I don't know what it is, but this is the year to go for it. All right. And I hope that you do. Okay. So welcome. We have some more sponsors coming up in February, March, and April. So the next available slot is May 2021, unless we start doubling up. So I'll have to think through what's fairest for that, what's most fair, and how to do that with the sponsors. So anyway, that information will be in the description box for you. I forgot to put it there prior to the show. So do check for that after the show is done. So now, okay. So first of all, welcome everybody. Happy Friday to you. I was really going to try to pull like other stories, like find other things going on in the world, but really what else is going on in the world right now? Really, you know what I mean? It would have felt weird, you know? So I was like, I'm just going to go with the moment. That's kind of the point of the news break. We're in the moment, reporting on the moment. And then, you know, when things go back to quote unquote normal, we go back to normal. So until then, welcome everybody. I'm laughing already. Some of you already have your wine. Cheers. I don't have any wine this evening. All I have is some Powerade. But it's okay. I still am going to give you a very high quality show. Although we did discover on my other channel that apparently a little bit of wine helps me read very well. So I probably should have had some before we started, but it's okay. Now, guys, I want to take you back in time a little bit before we actually move on to the super stream. So this news break is called the Going to Jail Super Stream. Okay. I can't even do it. I don't know if I'll be able to get through this whole thing without laughing the whole time. This is the Going to Jail Super Stream. Okay. And I don't know which live stream it was, 1 or 2 streams ago on Permission to Exist, where I said, oh, y'all are going to jail. All of y'all are going to jail. And somebody made the comment that we should do this. And I think this person is in the chat right now. So if you are, thank you. If this is the right person, thank you so much for the idea, because I think it's funny. So this is going to be our, oh, you going to jail super stream. Okay. Now, before we do that, I do want to remind you guys of something I said twice. And I remembered this before, or as I was setting up for the show. I was like, oh man, I think I need to change my whole angle, you guys. I think I just need to go into just straight prophecies. Just hop on every day. No content, no production value whatsoever. Just hop on and be like, hey guys, so here's what I think is going to happen. And just wait and see, because wow. Okay. So it's going to go by kind of fast, but I do have the closed captions on, and some of you might just simply remember it. But this is what I said on August 11th. I can't do this, y'all. I was so calm right before I went live, but it's tickling me already. This is what I said on August 11th, 2020, okay? This is Tantrum Files number 4, volume 4, where the elderly veteran got his jaw broken after they were arguing about masks, okay? So this is what I said on August 11th, 2020. You people are out of control. You better stop listening to these pundits and talking heads who are gassing your head up and sending you out here into the world to get arrested when you have these very, very public temper tantrums. This won't be the last of the Tantrum Files. If you hear of a story and you'd like me to cover it, please email me at permissiontoexist@gmail.com. Okay, so that was the first time I told them they need to stop listening to these talking heads and these pundits gassing their heads up, sending them out into the world to be arrested. And I meant it, you guys. I really did. Okay. So that was on August 11th, 2020. Okay. PTE, you can do this. Dang, I should have got some wine. That really actually would have helped. It would have mellowed me out and I wouldn't be so entertained. Now, this Tantrum Files, the next one, Volume 5, was published on October 7th, 2020. And I said this. I started this series for a reason, and it's because I could foresee that this situation was going to get progressively worse as time went on. You all already know how I feel about the anti-mask crew. Like I told the anti-mask crew a couple of videos ago, you guys are going to get yourselves in trouble up until the point where you get arrested, and many of you are going to be spending a lot of time in jail. Do not let your favorite talking heads gas you up to the point where you're now out in public getting physical with people over masks of all things. But I also want to say this explicitly. Okay, I think that's it. To those of you who are... Yeah, that's the part I wanted to show you, okay? So that was the second time I told you, don't let these people gas your head up, send you out into this world for you to get arrested. And then that's also the moment that I told them that they were going to be spending a lot of time in jail. Now, I just saw... Who died, Red? I just saw... in the comments, it said, what happened to the Tantrum Files? What happened was it became so frequent and it was becoming such an everyday occurrence. I just couldn't keep up, you guys. Like, I was like, my whole channel will be nothing but Tantrum Files, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but literally it was like an everyday thing. And now we've had our biggest tantrum file ever. Like, so is there even a point? And can you top attempting to take the Capitol building? I don't think so. But I might pick it back up. We'll see. Because I actually intended, I intended to make it more broad. So it started about the masks, but I also wanted to eventually take it to where we were talking about other people who were just having narcissistic meltdowns in public. Then I got distracted. Then the whole world became a tantrum file and I just couldn't keep up. But if you guys like it, I'll pick it back up again because I actually have a lot of fun making them, if you can't tell. They're a lot of fun to make. So let me know. What was I about to say? So there's that. So back in August 2020, I told you, you're going to get yourself in trouble. You're going to get yourselves arrested, letting these people gas your head up. Then I told you again on October 7th, 2020, don't go out here getting physical with people. A lot of you are going to be spending a lot of time in jail. And then that brings us to present day. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. I see red. Okay. I thought you were talking about someone else. So guys, what we're getting ready to do is a bit of a super stream. There's no real rhyme or reason or point. If you're here looking for a revelation, you know what I mean? You might get one, they just fall out of me from time to time. But all we're really doing is kind of entertaining ourselves. Now, listen, am I entertained at someone else's troubles? No, I'm not. Oh, and I also have to say, all of this is alleged. It's alleged. I'm not sure how to say that correctly. I think it's actually alleged, but I think people started saying alleged. Whatever. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. I have to say that even if your face is on camera, you took a selfie by a busted Capitol building window, even though you posted on your own social media that you were there, that you did that you meant to do it, that it's a revolution, we still have to say that you're innocent until proven guilty, I guess. I don't know. But so I'm saying it. So boom, all of the stories I'm getting ready to present to you, all of these individuals have the presumption of innocence until the feds lower the hammer on them. And it's also to just show you guys the fallout from all of this. So I guess if there is any point at all, it's to, number one, start the documentation of the fallout and kind of just watch it kind of fan out from here, because it's only going to increase and it's only going to get worse, and it's only going to keep building on itself from here. This is just the beginning. There were thousands of people out there that day. And I imagine there were people who weren't there that were pulling the strings of some of the people who were there. They were just off-site. I don't have the story up here, but I saw a story that $300,000 seed money came in from overseas to help fund this. Oh yeah, y'all. Oh man, the rabbit hole runs very deep, very deep. And I cannot personally wait to see just how deep it goes. All right. But to start, I should have had some nice music playing in the background, some nice royalty-free music for us to go through our super stream. But it's too late for all that. We're just going to press forward. Okay. If you want some music, put on some music lightly in the background at your house. All right. So bottoms up to those of you who are enjoying some wine this evening. Let's start to look at our newly minted alleged felons. People who this time last year did not have criminal records and probably turned their nose up to people who, you've been through the criminal justice system. Ew. Ew. You're such a lowlife. Oh my God. Like, no, I would never associate with you. No. And now look at you. Starting off our super stream this evening, Texas real estate agent who took private jet to Capitol riot is arrested. Now, before we even get into the details of this, some of you are already aware of this. I want to know how you are oppressed when you fly to a riot in a private jet, not first class, not economy, a private jet, your own little airplane, but you are oppressed somehow. Okay. Now, and on my other channel, A Deeper PTE, we kind of got into my theory behind what I don't know if I can really say that word, peep state is. There we go. And this is my theory on who the peep state really is. But anyway, I'm not going to get into it here. I already did. The point is, it's an elaborate network of people in a variety of industries spread out all across the country. That's the summary. This one is a real estate agent. Now, can you imagine, or do you imagine is a better question, that she was very fair with everyone's file that came across her desk? Maybe, maybe not. I'm not going to speculate because it's not about her actual work, but she's a real estate agent. So instead of her going out somewhere, showing a couple of houses and making herself a nice commission, she went and earned herself an arrest booking and charge. Okay. All right. Now, are you guys ready for the zinger with this one? Are you all ready for the zinger? This woman has a channel on YouTube. I hate to give her promo because, of course, naturally you want to go look, you can't help it. It's like a train wreck. You want to go see what's happening. You want to see if she said anything. So I'm sure this is going to boost her numbers anyway, but who cares? It's already public knowledge. She has a YouTube channel where she gives advice on narcissism, y'all. Among other things, like she gives dating and relationship advice as well. But narcissism advice. Quite a few videos, actually. And I just can't. I can't do it. Our alternate universes is the only word I can think of. Because how you can profess to understand narcissism and yet stand behind the biggest narcissist the world has ever seen is beyond me, right? Just completely beyond me. It is. But there's a lot of narcissism YouTubers like that, which I find very, very, very strange. Very strange. I think it's weird. But anyway, we're not here to discuss that. But yeah, so she's a narcissism expert as well. Real estate agent by day, narcissism expert by night. Okay. Oh, she hasn't been? Well, let's take a look. A Texas real estate agent who took a private jet to the Capitol last week and called it one of the best days of my life was charged Friday for participating in the violent insurrection. Jenna Ryan, a Frisco, Texas real estate broker and life coach, has been charged with knowingly entering or remaining in a restricted building without lawful authority and disorderly conduct on Capitol grounds after documenting her 2-day excursion to DC on social media. Like, they never imagined in a million years that they would get in trouble for this. Never. And this is what I mean by overcorrection. So for those of you who have been with the channel for at least a year, I would think, I did a video about a year ago called Overcorrecting. And the gist of that video is a narcissist will always overcorrect in response to something, a perceived slight, an insult, something they think you did. Doesn't even have to be something you actually did, something that they think you did. And they'll overcorrect to kind of, I guess, balance the scales, you could say. But here's an example. Little kids do this a lot. One little kid will kind of like push a little kid on their shoulder, and then the other little kid will like push them and shove them down to the ground as hard as they can. So in other words, the force is not met with equal force, basically. The force is met with more force. That's what overcorrecting is. So to me, I think in their mind, because of the way they felt about everything that was going on during the summer, even though the two cannot be compared, they said, well, I'll show you. I'll bring pipe bombs and I'll, kidnap and hold hostage federal officials and smear poop all over the Capitol building to show you that I'm angry about your protests over the summer. So that's what I'll do. To show you how mad I am about that, I'll go destroy federal property. That's what I'll do. And take flexi cuffs and pipe bombs and weapons and everything. That's what we'll do to show you we're mad about. You see what I mean? So this is how they overcorrected that. And you can expect more of that going forward into the future, honey. That's why I said we just got to break up, because I'm not doing this with these people for the next 50 years. I'm not. Every time something happens, then they got to go overcorrect to, make it feel like it's right to them again. I'm not dealing with this for 50 years out of these folks. Okay. But it looks like a good number of them are going to be in jail. So they're going to be like their own little nation in jail. And a fun social experiment will be to see how long it takes them to set up a dictatorship in their respective prisons, because I imagine they're not going to put them all in there together. So how long will it take them to erect a little dictatorship? Kind of like, have you ever seen some ants before, like outside? You pass by them and then you pass by them maybe 6 hours later and they've built like a whole little hill. Same thing. How long will it take them to set up their little dictatorships in prison? And will they get deprogrammed in prison, or will it actually get worse in prison? I think it might get worse, but I also think it's possible they could get deprogrammed. But we'll get there. Anyway, where were we? She was among yet another handful of rioters rounded up by the feds on Friday, including a former Latin Kings gangster, a Kentucky man who claimed a cop told him it's your house now, and Dominic Spazzo Pizzola, a Proud Boys member who allegedly smashed a window to the Capitol with a police shield. I'm going to jail. Where else did you think you were going? Ryan went on a PR offensive after the riot, telling Spectrum News that she answered the call of my president and proudly stormed the Capitol because the election was rigged. It's not necessarily about taking over the Capitol. It's about we the people own this building, she said. According to a criminal complaint filed in the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia, Ryan diligently documented her participation in the mob, starting from her flight on a small private aircraft on January 5th. So like I've told you all before, or like not you all, I've said before, but I'm really, oh my gosh, it's red. Look at that. I've never seen a red highlighter. Never. They think they own everything and they think they own everywhere, including you. And that's the problem. And I always say, excuse me, you don't own everything and you don't own everywhere. But when you think you do, this is the kind of stuff you do. But like I've said, here and there and everywhere, they've been wanting to do this for a long time, y'all. This is the most fun some of them have had in years. And I don't even mean as a result of the lockdowns. I just mean period. Like there's only so many football games you can go to. You know what I mean? There's only so many recreations of the Civil War you can go to before you just go recreate your own. You know what I mean? Let's move on. Well, Miss Jenna, you got a new charge sitting on your shoulders there. I'm sure you'll pick up hundreds of thousands of subscribers as a result of all this. But hopefully they're just there to gawk and not actually learn anything. Because if you go to learn after all this, you deserve to be swept right up in that strong delusion, honey. You do. We got more. Spring Man faces federal charges in Capitol riot. Federal authorities have charged a Spring Man who allegedly participated in the January 6th insurrection. Joshua Lawler, 39, faces 3 charges after the FBI combed through his Facebook page and found a myriad of posts detailing involvement in the riot. One of those posts appeared to show him at the front of a group trying to get through a line of Metropolitan Police officers, a FBI special agent said. Given the close proximity of the MPD officers to the camera lens and the fact that there is no person or property visible in between the camera and the bodies of the MPD officers, it appears that Lawler was at the front lines of a physical confrontation with MPD officers, the agent wrote in court documents. He admitted to traveling to and being at the riot. He willingly handed over his cell phone as well as his password. Oh, they first heard of him through the FBI's National Threat Operations Center, the tip line. Wow. Well, somebody snitched on you, Josh. Got snitched on. Y'all, I've been combing through these pictures because I'm like, I know I'm going to see one of my former bosses up in there. I know I am. And when I do, when I tell you, I'm going to call the FBI and say, can we go ahead and can I give you my my routing number and my account number now before I share this information with you? Awesome. Yeah, here, this is her name. This is where she at least used to work. I don't know if she still works there. This is her son's name. This is her husband's name. Oh, Canary singing. There he is. Look at him. I'm singing like a canary. I'm telling on y'all. If I see any of my former bosses in here, I'm telling on you. I promise you that. Like, I will not hesitate to snitch on you. Okay, so these are just more pictures. Did you guys hear that Trump, now this is a rumor, this is speculation, this is allegedly, okay? But apparently he was super happy about the whole thing until he saw them. So like, let me see, let me go back. Like until he saw like this look, like this kind of dingy, kind of what they said in the article, low class look. And he didn't like that. Almost like, I guess he thought the Polo Club was going to come show up for him. You know what I mean? Or like the local country club was going to come out in droves. You know what I mean? Like Ella and Maude and Sue Ann and all them. I think that's who he thought was coming. But he got Cliff and Great and Grit and Charter and all them. That's who he got. Connor and them. That's who he got. He didn't like this. He didn't like this. He wanted the clean Trump supporters because that's, you know, the kind of fancy guy that he is. And he threw y'all under the bus. Hoo-wee, he threw you right under the bus. He threw y'all right under the bus. He's like, I didn't tell them. He didn't say it in these words, but in more or less words, he said, I didn't tell them to do that. I just said that we're going to go cheer on the people who are challenging the election. But when you turn around and say things like, you have to be strong, you'll never, win by showing weakness. You have to be strong. And I think Rudiani, I was going to say Rudiani, Rudy Giuliani. I like Rudiani. Rudiani said something to the effect of, you got to take it by force or something like that. Child, they riled these people up and got all of these people arrest records and criminal records. Okay, let's keep going. All right. Now let's go straight to the FBI's website. Well, this is the Justice Department. 13 charged in federal court following riot at the United States Capitol. It's getting realer and realer by the day. 13 individuals have been charged so far in federal court in the District of Columbia related to crimes committed at the U.S. Capitol in Washington, D.C. on Wednesday, January 6th. And this was published on the 8th. So 7 days have gone by. So it's even more than that now. I was just grabbing whatever I could find. There's so many of them. So many. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger for you guys. Just one moment, please. Oh, yes. Hey, everybody. Welcome. Trial by combat. That's what he said. That's like actually worse. Trial by combat is even worse than, what did I say? Take it by force. Trial by combat is very specific. All right, let's take a look at some of these folks and their names. We've got Cleveland Meredith, charged on the 7th for making interstate threats to Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Richard Barnett of Arkansas, charged on the 7th, knowingly entering or remaining in a restricted buildings or grounds without lawful entry, violent entry, disorderly conduct on Capitol grounds, theft of public property, money. He stole money? Theft. What is public money? Theft of public money. Who knows? But they're bringing him up on it. Theft of public money, property, or records. And he's the one who entered the Speaker Pelosi's office and put his filthy feet on her desk. Lonnie Kaufman of Alabama. Again, they rounded up. Okay, all these people were charged on the 7th. Okay, possession of an unregistered firearm and carrying a pistol without a license. It's alleged that Kaufman's vehicle contained 11 explosive devices known as Molotov cocktails and firearms. Y'all, these folks showed up ready for war. At what point do you look around the crowd and go, yeah, I don't think I'm like y'all. Yeah, I don't think I fit in with you guys. You got what in your Molotov cocktails? What? Like, I thought we were just going to go hold signs and, say the libs are libtards. I thought that's what we're going to do. We're blowing it up. What? Like, at what point do you go, yeah, man, I think I'm out? You know what I mean? Let's see who else we have here. Mark Leffingwell. I'm just thinking about all these people who literally just ruined their own lives. Like, all of these people, for the most part, like, there were some people who had like pasts or whatever, but for the most part, like, these people live in like gated suburban communities. And now you got criminal arrest records, and it's not a joke. Like, this is not a joke, because let us never forget, they killed a cop. And all of them will be lucky if they don't hold the whole crowd liable for that. They'll be lucky. They might cut them some slack and only hold those in the immediate vicinity responsible. But if you think about it, if you really think about it, it's all about the proximate cause. And the proximate cause of his death was that riot, them charging the Capitol. So theoretically, they could all be held responsible for his death, every single one of them. Theoretically, they could. Excuse me. Now, it would be hard. Like, if you're 500, yards away. I don't know if that's far, y'all. I don't know. Basically, if you're on the other side of the Capitol and the cop died on the far other end of the Capitol, it's kind of hard to hold you responsible. But if you're in the Capitol planting your Molotov cocktails while the cop is outside dying, yeah, we could probably hold you responsible for that too, because it's all about the intent. What did you intend to do that day? And what was the consequence of that? You see what I mean? So this is serious. These folks are going to jail. Y'all think I'm joking? Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's see if y'all think these folks aren't going to jail. Mark Leffingwell, knowingly entering a restricted building, assault on a federal law enforcement officer, violent entry and disorderly conduct on Capitol grounds. He allegedly entered the Senate side of the Capitol when stopped by law enforcement, struck an officer in the helmet and chest. You going to jail, boy. He's currently being held and has a detention hearing in district court today. So some of them didn't bail out. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, some of them were not allowed to bail out. Like Organic Fruit Tree. What's the baby's name, y'all? He's coming up soon. Jake Angeli. He's still in jail. I don't think he bailed out unless something has changed since the last I checked on it. Let's see here. Christopher Alberts, carrying or having readily accessible on the grounds of a U.S. Capitol building a firearm and ammunition, specifically a Taurus G2C 9mm and 9mm caliber ammunition. I mean, they just totally disregarded these people's rules. You're not allowed to have guns anywhere in DC, correct? Or is it just on federal grounds? Or is all of DC considered federal grounds? These things I don't know. All I know is that you weren't supposed to have guns at the Capitol building. They just walked right in there. They just skirted right by it. Like that was a powder keg ready to go off at any moment. Because think about it like this. Excuse me. All it would take is one person either accidentally firing their gun, which I think someone did. Oh no, somebody tased themselves, I think. Let me not get off track. All it takes is one person to accidentally fire their gun, or for a gun to go off, for someone else to shoot theirs because they think someone's shooting at them. Now you think you're shooting at me. Now we're all shot. Joshua Pruitt. Dang, that sounds familiar. Look him up. Joshua Pruitt. That sounds so familiar. Knowingly entering a restricted building without authority. All right. So these who went into the building, they're probably going to get off the lightest. They're still going to get in trouble, though. Knowingly entering or remaining in any restricted building or grounds without lawful authority. What they better pray for is that they don't get caught up in these charges for this cop that got killed, even though he was one of them. Did y'all know that? So the Trump supporting cop got killed by Trump supporters. Now, isn't that something? Like literally 2021 said, hold my beer. 2020, hold my beer. Yeah, you thought you did something. Hold my beer. Like it's going to get to the fever pitch to the point where they are literally going to be killing their own supporters. Like, wow. Okay. What did I tell y'all? The most important thing for your voting block and your voting base is to keep your constituents alive. The only way they can vote for you is if they're alive and free. Okay? But y'all are killing them. You're wiping them out with the virus on the one hand. And then now you got half of them locked up. There's a lot of people who are not going to be able to vote next time, unless the voting laws magically get changed for felons nationwide. Let's move on. Matthew Council of Florida shouldn't have been in that building, went in it anyway. Let's see. Oh, he pushed a law enforcement officer. So you put hands on a law enforcement officer, assault of a police officer, you going to jail. And here's the other reason they have to do this, y'all. And I mean this, I'm being serious now. The reason they have to press charges and prosecute each and every single one of these people is because if they don't, they will do it again. They're already planning it again. It's supposed to be happening again this weekend. I don't know if they're going to follow through. Personally, what I think they're going to do, and this is just my opinion, but I think they're going to be totally chill on Inauguration Day to give everyone a false sense of security. So you're going to have all this National Guard out there, all these cops, FBI is everywhere. The whole place is crawling and nothing happens. And then they're going to be like, okay, I think they learned their lesson. I think they're back to normal now. And then that's when it's going to go off. Just my thoughts. But, you know, that would make sense to me. Like, why would you run head first into the National Guard? Are you stupid? You got to be stupid. Now, I'm not debating that you might be stupid. But all I'm saying is, like, if you're planning this hostile takeover, why would you do it when they're the most heavily suited up and booted up? You see what I mean? They're going to wait, I think. And then when everyone's like, all right, everybody, you can go home now, that's when they're going to act out and act stupid because so many of them have nothing left to lose. Let's see. Where were we? Cindy Fitchett of Virginia. Oh, wait, did I do Matthew Council of Florida? Oh, yeah, he pushed the police officer. Cindy Fitchett went in that building knowing you weren't supposed to. With intent. Ooh, this is the first one of these. With intent to impede government business or official functions. Engaging in disorderly conduct on Capitol grounds and violent entry and disorderly conduct. You going to jail, Cindy. Another Florida boy, Matthew Curzio, went in that building, weren't supposed to. Interfering with government business, violent entry and disorderly conduct. You going to jail. Another Florida boy, Douglas Sweet, went up in that building you weren't supposed to. Trying to interfere with official government business. Same thing, same as Cindy, excuse me, Bradley Ruscalis of Illinois, blah, 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 same thing, same charges. Terry Brown, Pennsylvania, same charges. Thomas Gallagher, same charges, okay? And then it says, in addition, approximately 40 individuals have been arrested and charged in Superior Court with offenses including, but not limited to, unlawful entry, curfew violations, and firearms-related crimes. These courts are going to be busy for years, you guys. Years these courts are going to be tied up with this nonsense. And then if they do it again, like you can just stack it on. Like you can just double up the layers. Okay? All right. So now let's move on. Let's see who else has got arrested since this all went down. Zip tie guy arrested on federal charges after Capitol riot. So this is the guy who's in like full tactical gear, caught like with those zip ties in his hand. A Nashville man known as Zip Tie Guy was arrested Sunday afternoon in Tennessee following his actions in the Capitol riot on January 6th. Eric Gavalek Munchel, 30, was charged with one count of knowingly entering or remaining in any, all these same, they're all the same, violent entry, disorderly conduct. According to a release from the U.S. Attorney's Office, Munchel was allegedly inside the Capitol carrying plastic restraints, an item in a holster in his right hip, a cell phone mounted on his chest with the camera facing outward, ostensibly to record the events of that day. And the ATF and FBI continue to urge the public to report suspected use of explosive devices. Like, how can you be like cool with walking down the street with someone who's got Molotov cocktails in their backpack? Like, you trust them like that? Like, I would be like, hey man, you know, power to the people, but I'm going to go over here though, because you got too many explosive devices on you and you don't look like the most organized person on planet Earth. But this guy didn't have the explosives. He had the zip ties. So he was the one ready to take the hostages. Oh, his ex-wife told on him? I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for one of those faces to just slide across the screen. I promise you I'm going to call the FBI on speed dial. Speed dial. So you're going to jail. Okay. You know, the outfit was cute though. Your little get up was cute, but you're going to jail, honey. Now I wanted to say this. This is completely unrelated, but I do want to say it. I have noticed that a lot of people in their 30s are getting in trouble lately. Have you guys noticed that as of recent? Like a lot of people are capping out in their 30s, and I don't know what it is. Now he's newly 30. He just turned 30, but I mean like 36, 38, 35, 37, 39. Like my generation is not doing very well. And if my theory is correct, I don't know if it's just coincidence, because obviously to do it scientifically, you'd have to look at everyone getting in trouble and their ages and, condense all that. But all I'm saying is basically a lot of the people I've been seeing get in trouble lately are in their 30s. And I think that's so interesting. Or is that something that's already known? Like, is it known that in your 30s, like that's when people start to have their mental meltdowns? I don't think it's an age thing this time. I think it's a generation thing. And at risk of going off on another subject, I'll stop. But I think this has something to do with the big lie that my generation was told. And now they're losing it because it's like, wow, we really might not be able to access this here American dream, huh? But what problems do you have accessing it, son? What are you so mad about? If any television producers hear this, I would love nothing more than to do a TV series or a Netflix, Hulu series, YouTube series where we go in these prisons as these people get settled into their new lives. And we just talk to them. And one of the first questions that I would ask all of them is, what are you so mad about? You. What are you so angry about? Who has wronged you? What has been taken from you? What do you feel like is being taken from you? How realistic is it? Where did you get that from? Do you hear how you sound? Like, I think that would be an incredible TV show, or not TV show, but you guys, series. There we go. Talking to them, and they're behind bars. They can't hurt you or do anything to you, and they're happy to talk to you because they don't have anyone else to talk to but their cellmate. And if they're smart, they won't put these people together. They need to put them with people who can like de-radicalize them. You know what I mean? Don't put them in the cell with someone else equally as radicalized as them, guys, because it's only going to get worse. Because the one credit I will give them is that their theories morph. They don't make any more sense as time goes on, but they do morph and change. And they do get a little bit more far out with every iteration. So you don't want to pair them up. You need to split them up. Someone left a comment on another video that said, we need to put all of them in their own special prison, head up by Swedish prison guards, because apparently the Swedish have an entirely different approach to life and culture. And they need to be, it's not, this person didn't, I don't think they meant it to be funny. But it's so funny to me because it's like, well, you look like me, but you're so different. Like, you're calm, you're balanced, you seem happy. You don't seem entitled in any way. You seem like you're at peace and content with yourself. Teach me your secrets. You know what I mean? So in other words, we shouldn't put American guards over these guys. They need to be guarded by like Swedish guards. Okay. It says, I'm watching delayed, but the 30-year-old tantrum and rage is real. I'm 29 going on 30, had a heart-to-heart with myself and vowed to move on and do something better. But my other 30-something friends are complete nihilists, and I think there's something to that. I want to look into that because I'm just so interested in the fact, like, it's my age bracket. It's like right there. I'm like, dang. So my generation is screwed up like I think it is. Yeah, I thought so. I wasn't sure, but I thought so. And yeah, it looks like I might be right. Let's see if it proves itself true as we move through these. So Zip Tie Guy's gone down. I want to call him Larry so bad, but his name is not Larry, honey. Let's see. DOJ announces charges against man carrying Pelosi's podium and others in the U.S. Capitol riot. Let's see what his name actually is. Let's see. Federal prosecutors have charged 3 men, and the FBI arrested another on Saturday in connection with Wednesday's riot at the U.S. Capitol, including a man seen on video carrying Speaker Nancy Pelosi's lectern and another wearing a bearskin headdress. Like, how ridiculous. What is his name? Adam. His name is Adam. But doesn't he look like a Larry, though? Doesn't he look like his name should be Larry? Right? He does, right? Poor Larry. He didn't mean for this to happen. Let's see here. Adam Johnson, 36, of Florida, was arrested in the state Friday and booked into the Pinellas County Jail just days after he was allegedly caught. How are you allegedly caught? Well, I guess it could be someone else. I guess that's why they have to say that. After he was allegedly caught on camera carrying the House Speaker's lectern. What is going on? One count of entering that building when you know you weren't supposed to, one count of theft of government property, and one count of violent entry and disorderly conduct on Capitol grounds. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, some of these are popping up on another one. I was just trying to see. I read somewhere that they got the lectern back. So they did get the lectern back. Oh God, there are just so many. I need somebody to do a master list. I'm sure somebody will. Somebody will do a master list. I've kind of sort of started one on the last video I did on a deeper PTE, but that's more so to show you the industries that these people are in. So far on that list, we have bankers, police officers, firefighters, real estate agents, and some woman who worked in healthcare. And the list goes on. Obviously, it's just like every time I update it, three more drop in. It's like full time. Like I'm not going to be able to keep up with this full time. So Larry's gone. And I think Larry had a little arrest record previously, right? Let me see. Blah, 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 blah. So you know what? Let me just say this real quick. It says as Chansley, who's Chansley? Oh, that's Organic Fruit Tree. Chansley told the FBI he came to Washington earlier this week as part of a group effort with other patriots from Arizona at the request of the president that all patriots come to DC on January 6th. Here's this whole thing about this whole patriots thing. And I did a video on this. Some of you have seen it, and I think I clipped it out of something. I don't know, y'all. Anyway, it's called Patriots Care About Everything But This. I did clip that. And basically the point of that video was they'll go down here and destroy the Capitol building over some perceived slights and a lost election, but they'll let their employer monitor literally their every keystroke on their computer. Or as it was proposed in that article that I brought up, monitoring where you are to see whether or not to charge you for the day. So basically, if your tracker didn't move from your house, they're proposing essentially a tax to say, well, you worked from home today because your tracker didn't go to the office. And y'all are cool with that. The patriots are cool with that. The patriots are cool with screenshots getting taken of their computer at random and on a schedule to make sure they're doing the work that they're supposed to be doing. Patriots are fine with that. You're fine with your boss tracking your every move to see where you are. You're fine with that. You're fine with full surveillance from your employer. Totally fine with it. But somehow the government is worse. The government is not thinking about you. They're thinking about you now, Lair Bear. But anyway, that's a separate topic, separate stream. I just wanted to bring that up, this whole Patriots thing. It's like it's like if y'all really were patriots, man, the things we could get done in this country if you really were. And I say that because you guys are already in power. The problem is you're not actually patriots. But true patriots would never let that happen. Like, you're not going to monitor my keystrokes. You're not going to monitor when I get up and go to the bathroom and come back. You're not going to be monitoring, like looking all in my background to see who, what, where, and why is back. Do you see what I mean? No, you're not going to surveil me. You are my employer. You're not going to surveil me, but they're fine with it. They'd sign up for it. They'd probably take the chip too. They claim they're so, conspiracy theory and lit and woke. I guarantee you these people, if Donald Trump told them to, they would do it. And that's how I know you're not a true patriot. Moving on. 2 Arkansas men could face federal charges following their actions at the U.S. Capitol during riot. Let's just get the names. Oh my God. Okay. New info on 2 Arkansas men charged for crimes the FBI says they committed at the Capitol. The Department of Justice has now charged Peter Stager, who was seen on video beating a police officer with an American flag during the riot on Capitol Hill as federal officers looked to crack down on those who took part in the violence that resulted in 5 deaths. Boy, you going to jail. Ooh, I wish I could explain to you how you going to jail. Who took part in the violence that they don't play about their comrades. Comrade is not the word they use in the police department. What's the word they use in the police department? I can't think of the word. What's the word they use in the police department, y'all? Partner, I guess. I don't know. There's a different word. But anyway, they don't play about their fellow cops. That's one thing they don't play about. And I guess so. They're brothers in blue. I feel like there's another word, but they don't play about that. And this is uniquely personal because it's one thing to be chasing suspects and the suspect turns around and fires at you and catches your partner and your partner goes down. You know, that's kind of like expected in a way. I hate to say expected, but it happens a lot. It's par for the course. It's not a unique tragedy. It's always a tragedy, but it's not a unique tragedy. But to have a fellow police officer beat down by a violent mob that was stirred up by the president, like, y'all, this is sending them into deep space, okay? It is. Like, some of them are absolutely furious right now, and they're furious for different reasons. Some of them are furious because their partner went down, their brethren. So it's something, y'all. Oh, it's right on the tip of my tongue. Some of them are furious because they lost because of the tax on the resources this is going to cause, not only now, but going into the future. As one of the investigators said, you know, the scope of this thing is unprecedented, meaning the FBI has never had to deal with something of this magnitude before, never. And it's like a giant octopus with many legs and many tentacles. And there's so many different charges to prove. So some charges are very easily provable. Like, we got you on camera, we got you on video smashing the window, but it doesn't look like you did anything else. You go into jail for vandalism of federal property, trespassing, and all that, right? But other charges, for example, you know, the guy with the zip ties, they're going to have to prove that he went there to kidnap people and hold them hostage, which means they're going to have to comb through his social media. They're going to have to interview friends, family, coworkers. Basically, they have to build their case. So in other words, many of them are furious right now because they're getting ready to have to build thousands of cases, you guys. Thousands of cases. They're going to have to process thousands of cases. I think now there's no time like the present for me to go ahead and go to law school, because they're going to need all the attorneys they can get. Maybe they'll create like a fast track program, like a fast law program. 1 year, in and out, get in, get out. No fluff, no fluffy stuff, no frills. We need y'all on the ground right now. 1 year, fast track legal program, because they're going to need so many attorneys, y'all. They don't have enough attorneys right now to handle all these cases. They don't. Okay. So anyway, where were we? Court documents state that the officer Stager beat with an American flag, how very ironic, was guarding an entrance into the U.S. Capitol. The officer was guarding the entrance when members of the mob drug him down a flight of stairs and began repeatedly striking him, according to an affidavit. Oh, y'all going to jail. Oh my God. I just think about how many of them have kids and dogs and cats at home that are not going to see mommy and daddy for a while. You could have been home, comfortable, chilling, and you went and literally threw your whole life away. And any leverage you had to talk down on anyone with a criminal record at all. Let's see here. I mean, no one has leverage to talk down on anyone, but what I'm saying is one of these people's major talking points is, well, I mean, I was born in America and I've never gotten in trouble. Like, I've never had any problem with the police. I've never had like any trouble at all. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I go the speed limit. I don't break the law. So why would I get in trouble with police? Like, why would I have a record? Like, I follow the rules. I follow the law. I'm an American citizen. Maybe if you like, maybe if you just listen and obey orders, like none of this would be happening to you. Yeah. And maybe if y'all had just listened and obeyed orders, like 1,200 of you wouldn't have fresh, brand new, newly minted federal court cases. Next time, listen. Let's see here. Law and Order, right? Whoa. Stager was charged after a confidential informant alerted the FBI that they recognized him from videos posted of the riot. Stager was also shown on video saying, "Everybody in there is a treasonous traitor. Death is the only remedy for what's in that building." Ooh, yo, baby, y'all going to jail. Who they gonna put y'all in there? With Debo, Leon, Tyquirius, all of them. They're gonna put you in there with them. And them boys are gonna have so much fun with you. So much fun. Let's see here. Because they're not here for any of this, okay? You're gonna go. What happened? Are y'all still there? I just saw a spinning wheel. Go to not Rikers. There's another one up there somewhere, I think. Or maybe it is Rikers. Is Rikers still open? Head on over to Rikers talking about this is a revolution, 5G, Clinton's emails. They're going to beat you up on general principle, on GP, the first day. Just for coming in there with all that bullshit is what they're going to beat you up for, okay? And to get you to shut up. Attica, that's the one I think I was thinking about. You're going to go into Attica talking about, hey man, listen, I'm in here, listen, I'm not like one of you guys. Like, that's not what I mean. That's not what I meant. What I meant was like, I'm not like a real criminal or anything. Like, listen, we stormed the Capitol, guys, because it's a revolution, okay? So listen, I can get you guys in, get you on board, get you involved and everything. Boom, 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 boom. Just on GP. Shut up. Go sit in the corner. You just got here. Hush. I'm sorry. Like, the reality shows that are destined to come out of this whole thing, like, was that everything from this one? Blah, 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 blah. He found a stun gun he carried into the Capitol building. He's facing several federal charges. Okay. Oh, this is the guy. This is the guy that beat the cop with the American flag. Let's see if we can make this play.
Death is the only remedy for what's in that building. Well, let's go stand over. And you need your scrap. Everybody in there is a treasonous traitor.
Oh.
Death is the only remedy for what's in that building. Well, let's go stand over. And you need your scrap.
Look at this guy in the back. He's like, oh crap. They just got me on video with this guy saying death is the only remedy. Isn't that a song lyric? Death is my only remedy. I feel like that's a song lyric. Let's move on, guys. Y'all. Like, again, imagine being a seasoned federal investigator. You've had this decorated career. You solved all these major cases, all these major busts, put years into certain cases to take down kingpins and queen pins and all the other pins in between. And you got to deal with this. Whose mugshot? This guy here on the screen, Susan, or the guy we were just looking at? Oh, he went home and shaved. Oh, he tried to hide his identity. Maybe if you had worn a mask, even though they're still finding y'all with the masks on. That's what I was gonna say. Y'all, let me tell you how else this is happening, which I think is kind of funny. So you know how Facebook, Snapchat, and I think even Instagram have filters, and not the filters that change the color, the filters that actually like change the shape of your face, change your eye color, you know, give you a mustache, give you a beard, you know what I mean? And if you notice when it first comes on, it flashes your face. So it scans your face basically. And it's scanning like all the high points on your face, all the low points, where your eyes are, where your nose is, so it can apply the filter correctly. Yeah, see, I've never liked that. I've never been a fan of that. I'm like, y'all are just cataloging faces, man. That's all you're doing. You're cataloging people's faces for what? For the insurrection? Is that what it's for? So you can identify all these faces under masks, even though they weren't even smart enough to do that. Weren't even smart enough to wear a freaking mask so nobody would recognize you at least right away. You know what I mean? But nope. But they don't need it though, because the same feature that can apply to your face and change the shape of your face, I just feel in my heart that there's a database somewhere with all of our faces just stored in there and scanned, honey. Anyway, this little baby got locked up. Now, what are you doing out here? Where's your mom? Where's the sound?
Taking part in the Capitol. 28-year-old from Ewing faces charges for taking part in the Capitol chaos last week. Thomas Bering was arrested for disorderly conduct and violent entry of a restricted building.
We tore through the scaffolding through flashbangs and tear gas and blitzed our way in through all the chambers, just trying to get into Congress or whoever we could get into and tell them that we need some kind of investigation into this.
It was this television interview that led federal authorities to Berenier. Berenier says he was near Air Force veteran Ashley Babbitt when she was shot and killed by Capitol Police.
Oh my God.
Berenier was released on $100,000 bail. And Action News has learned that the Virginia man arrested for bringing a Hummer full of weapons and ammunition to the Pennsylvania Convention Center in Philadelphia during the presidential vote count was also spotted at the riots in Washington. Philadelphia District Attorney Larry.
Okay, let me show y'all while I was saying, oh my God. I didn't see this. It goes by so fast. I didn't see this on the other videos. They tore this glass out, you guys. This is why these people are going to jail. You have to watch real close. The guy here in the red jacket and the gray Scully is the one who has it in his hands. I'm going to back it up just a little bit and watch. I didn't realize they tore that glass out like that. That's why she got shot.
That led federal authorities to Berenier. Berenier says he was near Air Force veteran Ashley Babbitt when she was shot and killed by Capitol Police. Berenier was released on $100,000 bail.
See, the thing is, here's the whole thing. We have to keep in mind, like for the people who are like, oh, they didn't have to shoot her. You know, she was just exercising her First Amendment right. This is not your First Amendment right. Your First Amendment right doesn't include breaking into the Capitol building and tearing out the windows and trying to come through. So understand this, you guys, from the perspective of the people who were inside of the building, they didn't know what was going on at the time, with the exception of those who were in on it. Let's not forget them. I'm talking about the people who, I mean, I'm sure they all heard rumblings, but in the moment, they didn't think to themselves, oh boy, here's the Trump supporters. Like they would have no reason to, like they would, if they looked out the window onto the lawn and saw all the Trump supporters, that makes sense. Like, wow, they really came out in droves, but they're all over there back behind security. They don't expect to see Trump supporters by the thousands with guns tearing out the windows coming towards them. Like that's very threatening. That's very, very threatening, especially considering you're ripping the glass out of the doors. Like, wow. That's why she got shot, and they're lucky more of them didn't get shot. But you know why I think they didn't shoot him like that, you guys? I know a very popular talking point, and one that I've even said myself, is, if this had been any other group, they would have been gunned down on the spot. But here's why I think they did not fire on them like that, y'all, because they were armed too. And so the cops themselves were already outnumbered. They were outgunned. If the cops had taken the approach of let's go ahead and fire on all these people, all of those people would have fired back. They would have taken out the police force, and then there would have been nobody to protect the senators, the Congress people, because they're not armed. All they have is their Secret Service, who are also outnumbered. So I'm not making excuses. I still stand by my original statement because I still believe it to be true. However, when you think about the level of psychoticism you're dealing with, I think what they basically didn't want, I think the choice that they made was, let's let them go and we will get them later. Because if we fire on these people right now, they already came prepared for war. They came with bombs and guns and knives and lassos and nooses and zip ties. So don't get me started. That's going to take me down another path. My point is, this is why she got shot. Because in the moment, they're like, whoa, what is happening? Are we being invaded? Is this a hostile takeover? Well, it's obviously hostile. Is this a foreign takeover? Like, what is this? So he had no choice but to shoot her because she was getting ready to go through this window up here. You see? They got it in slow-mo.
He was near Air Force veteran Ashley Babbitt when she was shot and killed by Capitol Police.
Hey, listen, I don't know what you thought was going to happen. So here's a little twist of irony. Retired firefighter accused of throwing fire extinguisher at police during the Capitol riot is arrested. Robert Sanford, 55, allegedly threw the extinguisher at a group of officers. His attorney said he made a split-second decision and was caught up in the crowd. Right. That's why you, a former firefighter, picked up a fire extinguisher and lobbed it at the head of somebody else because you were caught up in the moment. You didn't just bust the extinguisher and just spray it everywhere. That would have been more effective. That would have made great pictures, No, you pick it up, that heavy fire extinguisher, and you chuck it at a group of people, a group of cops. And I think one of those cops, Sicknick, the one who passed away, he is reported to have been struck on the head by that fire extinguisher or by a fire extinguisher. You see? So you killed a cop. You're going to jail. You could have killed one of your fellow Trump supporters. Like, isn't there supposed to be a rule in war? Like, you're not supposed to take out your comrades? You just chucked it. You didn't even care. Like, you didn't even care who it hit. You know what I mean? Oh, I didn't know this. It said the fire extinguisher struck an officer who was wearing a helmet in the head, then ricocheted and hit two other officers, one of whom was not wearing a helmet. So I didn't know that. I didn't know it bounced. I didn't know they could do that. Look how they lie. Everyone was in a mob mentality. This is how they lie. Dear Republicans, we're all getting to see how you guys lie now. I've been talking about how you lie for years. And it's still, by the way, you guys, I've been on the attack of Republicans for the past couple of weeks now, but do know narcissism is still applicable across the board. But they are just literally embodying like every element, every trait, what happens when the narcissist starts to implode, what causes the narcissist to implode, what they do when they're backed into a corner. Now, this is your violent, thrashing narcissist here. And I want to say something. I want to see if I can say it in a sensitive way. Many of them will not stand trial because they will not allow themselves to. And that's the nicest way I can think to say it. They won't allow themselves to stand trial. They won't be here for it. That's the friendliest way. And it's already happened once. One of them has already done exactly what I'm talking about. So hopefully you can put 2 and 2 together and make 4. But a lot of them, and that's how narcissists are, truly. A narc, and I said this on a video somewhere in these exact words, I have said a narcissist, well, dang, now I'm just blowing my little code. F it. A narcissist would rather die than take responsibility for something that they've done wrong. And I mean that. I meant it then. I mean it now. These people aren't going out like that. They're not going to live with that shame. Let's see here. Notable arrest after the riot. This gives us a nice little pictorial. Jake Angeli, superstar. Organic fruit tree. Bearskin rug. Brick house. Let me leave him alone. Like he's so serious about it. Like, y'all, he's been waiting to wear this hat forever. Like, but look at his eyes. The look in his eyes right here is like, yeah, I think this might have gone too far, guys. I think this might have gone too far. Now, why did he get arrested? Obviously for breaking and entering, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so he's getting the breaking and entering. Adam Johnson. Oh, Larry. We already talked about Larry. We talked about Richard with his filthy feet on Nancy's desk. Like, can you, like, I don't know why this is the picture that really blows my mind the most. Like, out of all of them, out of everything we saw that day, the violence, everything, the damage, the destruction, I don't know why this is the one that really, really bothers me the most. Like, and there's a part of me that almost feels like these people knew or know that they would never have been invited there otherwise. So it's like, let me take my one opportunity to go to a place I'll never be allowed to go ever again. You're definitely not going now because you're going to jail. Because he stole stuff out of her office, I think. But I don't know, like, it's like it's so invasive. Like, I can't even, it's hard for me to explain. I think I'll have words for it later. Let's see. Oh, yeah, he's the one who got accused of stealing mail. Oh, you're going to jail. Little daddy here is going to jail. Kevin Seafried. He's going to jail. Now, I'm trying to understand, and I think I have a good handle, so my history buffs help me out. Because I keep hearing people say, for the first time in American history, the Confederate flag was flown at the Capitol. And apparently, what that means, if I understand it correctly, is that this flag is so offensive because it represents one of the bloodiest wars, if not the bloodiest war on American soil, where essentially this very thing happened, you guys. The South rose up against the North, fought them, lost, and then have been grumbling ever since, talking about, I don't think I should say this phrase because I think it's actually like a really bad phrase, but I'll say Florida, Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama, Kentucky, Louisiana shall rise again, basically, is what they say. And so, you know, it's like it's the flag of traitors, essentially. If I'm understanding the war correctly, it's the flag of traitors. Like, you turned on your own country and killed hundreds of thousands of American citizens because you wanted to keep slaves. That's the shortened version. Apparently there's more to it, but they literally killed people to keep people enslaved. That's how bad they wanted it. And that type of spirit and that type of energy does not go away. It just went underground for a long time. They let us have the 70s, they let us have the 80s, and let us think everything was okay. And everything was not okay. And it was always brewing just beneath the surface, always. But I'm so bothered by this, you guys. And the reason is because, like I've shared before, I grew up around Black and white people. I had a lot of white friends growing up, if you can't tell by my impersonations. I had a lot of white friends, and like I really did cherish them as friends, and I thought they cherished me. But now, like, I feel like if we didn't know each other, like, they would scream in my face on a sidewalk, you know, if I'm walking by or something. Like, I feel like they would have the potential, the ones that I know have turned, to be just as vicious and nasty and hateful towards me if they didn't know me. And that's the scary part. It's the if you didn't know me part that kind of bothers me. Because it's like, what are you capable of if you don't know me? So you know me, I'm, a good black, right? That's what they call it. One of the good blacks. But what if you didn't know me? Would I automatically be assigned bad black? Would you scream and spit and yell in my face? You see what I mean? Like, so I'm just bothered, y'all, because like, I thought the friendships were sincere, and maybe they were at the time. Maybe at the time, in that time frame, they were sincere friendships. But now I don't think we would be able to have the same friendship. And that it's kind of scary a little bit, but it also really, really bothers me on some levels. We might have to talk about that on another show. Let's move on. Kevin's going to jail. Let's see here. They wanted him specifically. They were mad about this. They were hot about him dragging this flag in here. Let's see here. Blah, 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 blah. Let's read this one. Mr. Seafried, who carried the Confederate battle flag outside the Senate floor, was arrested on Thursday after he turned himself into the authorities in Delaware, putting an end to an FBI search. Mr. Seafried was photographed during the riot casually carrying the flag through the Ohio clock corridor and past a portrait of Senator Charles Sumner of Massachusetts, an abolitionist. Well, how very disrespectful. See, this is why I need to get my history together. I really do need to get it together. It was the first time someone had managed to bring the flag into the building as an act of insurrection, according to historians. Wow. They entered the Capitol through a broken window. According to court documents, the pair were identified after the FBI received a report from a coworker of Hunter Seafried, who said he had bragged about being in the Capitol with his father on January 6th. Coworker turned him in. Ooh-wee. Zip tie guy. We already know zip tie guy has gotten arrested. Now that's pitiful because he had his whole face covered up, but apparently they found him. Let's see. Welcome everybody. By the way, if you're just joining, this is just a you going to jail super stream. That's it. In place of our normal news break. This is the pretty big news going on right now. So that and Biden. Oh yeah, Trump got impeached twice again. And Biden released a really big package that I'm going to look over. And then if I have thoughts, I'll share them with you because we definitely want to hold them accountable as well. Feet to the fire. Feet to the concrete, maybe I should say. Feet to the fire is probably not a good phrase to use considering the environment we're in. No, but we're just going to hold you extremely accountable. That's all. Probably more accountable than anyone else. Not really your fault. You inherited a mess. All right, let's go. Zip tie guy. They got him. This guy, Larry Brock. This guy is a former Marine, I think. Let's see here. Mr. Brock was arrested in Texas on Sunday on the same charges as Mr. Munchell, after he was identified as one of the people who broke into the Capitol. Showed him in a green helmet, a green tactical vest with patches, black and camo jacket, beige pants, holding a white flexi cuff, which is usually used by law enforcement to restrain or detain subjects. Who were y'all going to go get? What happened to your face? Look at his face. Let me see. I'm scared. I get scared clicking things. Hold on. Let me just see what happens when I click. Oh, it just makes it bigger. Okay. Look at little baby's face down here in the lower left-hand corner. Looks like he got shot in the face. Y'all went out here and got beat up. Wow. He's having a flashback or something. Like, I'm so troubled by this, you guys. Like, it's troublesome. It's worrisome. And I bet you it's worrisome to the military as well. Like, you got some of your ex-people out here losing their ever-loving minds, losing it. Like he literally looks like he is leading the brigade right now. Like he's getting everything together. Like they literally stormed the Capitol. Y'all, they literally went to take the Capitol as if they're overseas somewhere. Call of Duty, yes. Very Call of Duty. Oh, he was in Air Force. Okay, let's see. Oh, yep, okay. Sorry, I said he was a former Marine. I apologize. He's a retired Air Force lieutenant. Let's see here. The New Yorker identified him as a retired Air Force lieutenant colonel, a graduate of the Air Force Academy, and a combat veteran. A federal prosecutor in Texas said on Thursday that Mr. Brock had intended to take hostages. Like, wow. And what was the plan from there? See, we really need to have discussions about how you de-radicalize people. Like Twitter and social media, we've had a blast, like having fun with all this. We're having fun with it now. But maybe I should do a special show on how to de-radicalize people. Because part of the way you de-radicalize people is by making them tell you their plan. So when he says, all right, check it out. I'm going to go find her. I'm going to grab her and I'm going to put her in the flexi cuffs and I'm going to pull her to the back of the desk. Got it? You go, okay. And then once we get them all handcuffed, what happens next? Well, we demand a recount. Okay. Demand a recount from whom? Well, everybody, all of them. Okay. Everybody and all of them is not exactly an answer. Probably going to need to get a little bit more specific. Are there certain states we're recounting or all of them? All of them, all 50. So should we recount the states that Trump won? Oh, no. Those are valid. Those are verified. I see. It's the states that Trump lost that we need to recount. Cool. Now, you have them all in handcuffs back here. Do you think they're going to be willing to recount while they're cuffed? Do you think they're going to unlock their laptop for you? And then let's assume they actually sit here and recount these ballots for you, all these millions of ballots right here. Are you going to stand here for 24 hours while all these ballots get counted? Who's going to take shifts? How are you going to document the information? It doesn't look like you have a computer on you. Do you see what I mean? Like the way you de-radicalize people is by asking them questions. But typically when you ask a narc or a narcissist questions, they blow up on you. And this is why, because there's part of them, I think, that wants to remain radicalized. They want to stay radical. They don't want to be de-radicalized because that's what these questions will do. Like, okay, then what, guys? Do we work here now? Like, do we now work at the Capitol building? Like, let's say we're successful and we take all the Congress people and all the Senate and we have them in flexi cuffs and we got them in the back. Now what? Do we work here now? Like, is Trump our boss now, or do we take him too? Like, this is how you de-radicalize people. Like, okay, then what? Okay, then what? Okay, don't you have a flight back home tomorrow? So are you staying in DC now that we work at the Capitol, or are you going to fly back home? You see what I mean? You got to force them to think their plan all the way through. Otherwise, they remain radical. Okay? What's up, puppy? She's dreaming. Oh my goodness. She's dreaming and barking in her dream. Okay, let's I don't know if y'all can hear that. It's so cute. It sounds like water dropping. It sounds like bubbles popping. We've talked about him a million times. He's famous now. I'm sure he'll be fine. All right. Okay, let's move on and then we're going to close this out. Okay, guys? I think we talked about the two Trump. Yep, we've seen them. So y'all, what the hell? Oh, it's this video. Y'all, I was about to run up out of here.
This attack didn't come from the inside. It came from the outside. Oh my God. And to respond, restricting members' Second Amendment rights.
These automatically playing videos have my heart like jump out of my chest all the time. I don't like it. I'm not ready. Like, you have to let people get ready. You just start playing this creepy music out of nowhere. And I'm like, oh, I'm out of here. Bye. I was getting ready to leave y'all sitting right here. Okay, let's round. Right. Why did they think this would be successful? Like, did you think it all the way through? Like, clearly you didn't, you know what I mean? Like, okay, we've seen them. These are two former police officers. Check their records, check all their arrest records, check everyone that they've ever locked up, check the story. Go back on anyone who's ever filed a complaint and look over all the complaints, because I guarantee you the whole story is there. Y'all have both lost your jobs and you are going to go to jail. Probably with, now here's a question for you guys that I don't know. Do all of these people go to DC jail, or do they go to jail back in their home state? Now, I know that's probably a dumb question, but I'm asking it anyway because I actually don't know. I really don't. So my question to you is, like, they're from Virginia. Do they go back to Virginia to serve their time, or do they have to stay in DC and serve their time? Isn't it where you did the crime that you get like booked and stuff? How does that stuff work? It did sound like Jaws music, right? Oh my God, y'all, that really scared me. It made me feel like my heart dropped. I was like, oh, it's time. I was like, this is it. I was gonna be like, all right, you guys, see you later. Bye. Best of luck to you. I think this is the same ones. Are these the same ones? Oh, nearly 30 sworn police officers from a dozen departments attended the pro-Trump rally at the U.S. Capitol last week, and several stormed the building with rioters and are facing federal criminal charges as well as possible expulsion and other discipline. 30 police officers, y'all. That is so scary. And again, and I know I'm getting repetitive on this particular point, but I just have to keep making it. Now we have something tangible. Do you understand? Whereas before, you could say, you're treating me in a racist manner. But race and racist and racism are all intangible concepts. But this is tangible. This you can point at, you can look at. This you can subpoena. Do you understand? Until we have tangible, all you're dealing with is a concept, kind of like a blueprint to a house. Like, look at this amazing house I have. It's like, you got a great blueprint. Where's the house? Now we got the house. 30 of y'all pull up all of their complaints, their arrest records, every testimony they've given, every complaint, and review it all. This stuff is going to go on for years, y'all. Years and years and years. Blah, 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 blah. And no, that's another topic. Blah, 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 blah. Houston police officer Tam Pham, an 18-year-old veteran, resigned Thursday in the wake of federal charges against him. 18 years, gave up your job of 18 years. What all did you do in those 18 years? If you would turn around and do this, what did you do over the course of those 18 years? You see what I mean? This is what I'm talking about. Blah, 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 blah. Saw the Virginia ones. We know about them. It says, in a since deleted Facebook post, Fracker wrote after the riots, LOL to anyone who's possibly concerned about the picture of me going around. Sorry, I hate freedom. Not like I did anything illegal. Y'all do what you feel you need to. And then it said, in a screenshot on a Facebook post circulating, he wrote, CNN and the left are just mad because we actually attacked the government, who is the problem, and not some random small business. The right in one day took the effing US Capitol. Keep poking us. Yeah, we know y'all are crazy. That's why I tell my folks not to bother with you, because I know you're unstable. I've been knowing you're unstable. See it in your eyes. Let's see here. And you're going to jail. We took the Capitol. God, that looks so bad. And other countries have been talking about it too, guys. Like how shameful it is, like the lack of security. But this is such a bad situation. All right, I'm not reading all that. And then let's see. I felt like there was one more. This little baby's going to jail too. 33. I don't know. That's God, his name is everywhere. He's already getting on my nerves. But this little guy is going to jail. They found him. He's going to jail. He had on his work badge. Bless his heart. Okay. 53 people have been charged, including 13 federally. And it's only going to grow from there. And I think that's about, oh, no, we're going to close with this. Excuse me. We're going to close our live stream with this, guys, because I feel like part of my job is to help you. And in helping you, I hope you help me. And if you help me, I'll help you. And if you help me, I'll help you. And you, what? You, me, you, whatever. We help each other, is my point. What I'm basically saying to you is if you get a cut of this $50,000 rewards that they're passing out, just think of your girl, is all I'm saying. And just think of who showed it to you. Think of where you saw it first, okay? Say, I saw that face on PTE's NewsBreak, and they just cut me a $50,000 check. Just kick your girl like $50 would be cool, is all I'm saying, if I help you land $50,000. And vice versa, okay? If one of you helps me find one of these people and we get 50 grand off of it, I'll kick you a little something. Ain't no problem. It's not a problem. It's no problem. FBI's most wanted list, and it's scrollable. We're just going to scroll through a few of these, and then we're going to get out of here, you guys, okay? Again, this evening has been all alleged. Allegedly, he's been waiting to put on this sweater for 30 years. Guns don't kill people. Clintons do. 30 years, you going to jail. You look real mad too. See, you weren't even supposed to be out here. You were supposed to be home, helping your mom with something. Oh, you're definitely going. Look at you. They've been living for this. Now, here's something from a sociological perspective, you guys. I remember this from college, and it's one of the few things that stuck with me. But they were basically saying that when there's no war, or when there's been a huge gap of time in between wars, I'll say people just to keep it general. I want to say men, but I don't want to, make this a gender thing. But essentially what the sociologists have said is that men will create wars, basically. If you don't have a war going on and you got all these testosterone-filled, virile men in your population, and then on top of that, a lot of them are having trouble with women. So they're not getting laid. They're angry. They're not hitting things, shooting things. You know what I mean? Like in a wartime scenario, they played all the video games they can play. Like eventually this spills out, basically. So, from a sociological perspective, this was bound to happen also. Hey, a super chat just came in. Did you get $50,000? You know this guy, Desert Diagnostics? Thank you so much. That's so sweet. I was just joking, but thank you so much. Hopefully you did get $50,000 from the feds. That'd be awesome. Thank you, doll. I appreciate that so much. I really do. But do you guys see my point? Basically, people need purpose. I'll say people because I really do because there were women out here too, obviously. Like the person who got shot in the Capitol was a woman. So believe me, I'm not absolving women. I actually think the women of this movement are helping make it worse. We'll get there though. But anyway, essentially, people need purpose. And when people don't have purpose, they will create their own. And what the sociologists were saying, not me, was that when you have a high population of men and no wartime, stuff like this is bound to happen, basically. They can't help it. It's like in their genes. No offense to the men. I'm just telling you what the sociologists say. Okay. All right. I think this is it for these. Oh, no. Here we go. Boy. Look at this, y'all. You know what else this is a result of? This is a result of spending too much time around people who are just as crazy as you are. Like you got to break out of your crazy circle from time to time and go level out with someone else. You know what I mean? Because when you don't, this is what happens. The balance gets tipped. Look at this baby, y'all. Is that correct? It says you're absolutely right. Mars energy. Is that what it is? Look at this little baby, y'all. Come on, man. Look at this, y'all. This is why they used to not let everybody vote. And I know. What a thing to say. What a thing. PTE. We're trying to get people to rock the vote. Why would you say something like that, PTE? All I'm saying, y'all, is this is why they used to not let everybody do it. And I'm not even on a race thing right now. It used to be land? You had to be a landowner, correct? And I'm not saying that's right. I'm not saying let's go back to it. I'm glad that everybody has the opportunity to exercise their, which amendment right is it to vote? God, I should know these things. I was going to say First Amendment, but that's speech. Exercise their right to vote. I would never take that away from anyone. All I'm saying is this is why they used to not let everybody do it, y'all. That's all I'm saying. Okay, look at this baby. Do you really think he can make a rational, reasoned voting decision? Do you? Do you think he knows what's best for him? So if he doesn't necessarily know what's best for him, do you really think he knows what's best for the whole country? 25th Amendment, thank you. Look at him, starstruck, dazed and confused. That's another stream. Another stream, PTE. Let's see who else we got. Let's see here. I thought I just saw a bunch of them. Yeah, let's do a couple more and then we'll go, okay? I want mugs. I like the mugs. Give me the mug shots. Yeah, I like the mugs. Ooh, assault on federal officers and violence at the Capitol. Yes, let's see who assaulted the officers. Let's see who's going to jail. All right, so here's all of them. Here's the gang. Boy, this guy looks like Joe Rogan to me. We'll get to him in a second. I wonder if Joe knows he has a They didn't have to put the arrested banner on there. They didn't have to do that. I told you didn't I do a live stream called Need to Be Arrested? Didn't I? Need to be arrested. I just don't know what to say. Like, this is the guy I say looks like Joe Rogan. He got arrested too. He's been arrested. Doesn't he look like Joe? John Sullivan's mugshot. Okay, here. Let me navigate off real quick so I can pull that up. John Sullivan. If for anyone who's wondering why I don't just go straight to Google, because this computer is unpredictable when I click off of things, and God only knows what would pop up. Like my whole social security number and everything pop right up on the screen. You know what I mean? Oh, he looks real bugged out. So yeah, they found one left activist there and he's bugged out. He looks bugged out. Oh, bless his heart. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so this is him. So we got one lefty, but boy, he looks spooked. He looks bugged out. Like he's seen ghosts, demons, and everything else in between. But back to our FBI most wanted. Let's see here. We've got Joe Rogan lookalikes. Okay, this guy's going to get an award. The cop who he led them up the stairs, he's getting an award. Why are they all so blurry? FBI, come on now. We're trying to help y'all. This is not helpful. You going to jail. All right. And let's see if we can just find one more just for giggles. And arrested. Ooh, he has teardrops on his face. Y'all, I really want y'all to think about something as we close out this live stream. We are only as healthy as our sickest person. And what I mean by that is, as a society, if we have this massive underbelly of sincerely unwell people, sincerely, oh, he's the flag carrier. People who can be misled like this, people who can be brainwashed, people who will resort to violence when they don't understand or they don't agree. We're not doing good, you guys. Like, these people are not magically going to suddenly like get better mentally. They're not going to suddenly like recover from this. This is a catastrophic failure of the mind. Wait a minute. Does this mean all of them have been arrested or just him? This is a catastrophic failure of the mind. And part of what causes the mind to fail is those lack of questions that we were going over earlier. Like, okay, then what happens? Then what? Then are you going to move to DC? Don't you have dogs back home? Don't you have like a whole farm that you take care of? So what's going to happen to your animals in your farm? Aren't you married? So is your wife going to move here with you? So who's going to be the new president? How are y'all going to decide that? On a vote? How are you going to make sure that vote is secure? What are you going to do with all these senators and Congress people you have in handcuffs back here? Are you going to let them go? Are you going to feed them? Like, how long are we going to keep them? Are we going to hold them here like overnight, all week, for a month? Then what? Do you think they're not going to come in here and arrest us? Like, you see what I mean? It's that type of conversation that has to be had to deprogram these minds, but most of them refuse to have it. So when you're in a population of people who refuse to talk, refuse to have the conversation, simply refuse, like, where does this put us and where does this lead us, you guys? And here's the other concern. Matter of fact, let me just, I'm just going to pull it up real quick because I just want to show you, because sometimes showing is better than telling. I'm going to show you. Right, let's go straight here. Yes. Okay, so I have started a thread. All right, and let me pull you back up. Okay, so I know it's kind of small and jammed up in there, but you'll get the gist. So I'm starting a thread of all the accused individuals and their industries, because the whole point of this video is called "This is your EEP state, your PEEP state." So if you want to see that, I'll link it in the description box so you can find it. Or if you're subbed to that channel, you can go watch that. But basically, we have Christopher Stanton. He's the one who took himself away. Manager, regional portfolio manager at BB&T, which is a bank manager. Cleet Keller, Olympic gold medalist swimmer, employed by a Colorado real estate firm. He resigned. So we got bank managers, real estate, I don't know what he did, agent, who knows, but you worked at a real estate firm. And you were an Olympic gold medalist. Teresa Duke, UMass Memorial Hospital. Donovan Crowell, former Marine. Robert Sanford, retired firefighter, and the list goes on. So we got hospitals, military, firefighters, real estate, banks, and it's going to continue to come out. It is. By and by each day, it's going to come out how deeply woven these people were into the system. So that actually, it brings me back to my original question, which is, when you're dealing with a population like this, and on top of all that, they cannot be reasoned with. But on top of not being able to reason with them, they're in positions of power, influence, and authority over others. We have a real problem on our hands, because I think up until this point, some of us have known for years, but I think up until this point, many of us just kind of felt like, oh, come on, people just get passionate about their political beliefs and we get mad and we call each other bad names. But at the end of the day, we're able to pull it together and march forward into the future, and we'll try again next time, right? But I think what we've discovered is we have a large number of people who simply are not capable of doing that. They cannot do it. And as I've posed in different ways and on other videos, a person who can't be reasoned with is dangerous in more ways than one. You're a dangerous person. So what are we going to do with this large number of dangerous people in our society? This is more than your common criminal. It's like you're a criminal plus you're not well mentally. Your brain is not sorted correctly. And it's only not sorted correctly because you won't allow anyone else to come in and help you sort it. Your brain is hoarded, basically. So your mind is hoarded with all this different information, all these different video clips and sound bites from all these different people hyping you up. Your mind is hoarded. Then when someone like me comes along and helps you try to clean out your mind, you bark at me. And so you just stay in your hoarded little house of a brain. So with that, you guys, I am going to go ahead and close out our news break. I hope you enjoyed the super stream. I will be active on Permission to Exist this week. So you can find me over here. And what was I going to say? Oh, eventually the news break will go back to normal. So we'll get back to regular stuff again, but this is the news for now. So this is what we're going to look at. But you guys, I'm going to close on this. Don't let your favorite talking head or your favorite political pundit or your favorite YouTuber gas you up and hype you up to the point where you go out here and get yourself arrested. Okay? They're not going to come bail you out. They are not your friends. Okay? And one final thought. Almost all of your criminals are free. They're free. And with that, you guys, we're going to go ahead and close our news break. It's so good to see you again. Good to have you. We will talk again later on this week, okay? Stay safe out there, especially this weekend, all right? Bye.